Now, as manager Westrom turns and goes back to his dugout, here is the starting lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off at second base, Tony Taylor. Batting second in left field today, Cookie Rojas. Batting third at shortstop, Dick Groat. And hitting cleanup at third base, Richie Allen. Batting fifth and playing first base, Harvey Keene. Bill White's being given a rest today. The right fielder is John Callison, batting sixth against the left-hander. Bob Euchre is catching and batting seventh. Johnny Briggs is in center field, batting eighth. And Chris Short is the pitcher, batting ninth. For the New York Mets, leading off is the right fielder, Cleon Jones. Batting second and playing second base, Ron Hunt. Batting third is the third baseman, Ken Boyer. And batting fourth and playing first base, Jim Hickman. Batting fifth in left field is Ron Swoboda, followed by the shortstop, Ed Brissou. Batting seventh and playing center field today is Billy Murphy. Batting eighth and catching is Jerry Grody. And the pitcher is Tug McGraw. Chris Short still is warming up. Down below, he has a record of 16 wins and 8 losses this year. Against the Mets, he has won 1 and lost 1. Now the New York Mets are taking the field. Chris Short has a lifetime record against the Mets of 4 wins and 3 losses. He pitched a 6-hit shutout here at Shea Stadium on June 30th. He won it 1-0, and he struck out 13. He lost to the Mets at Philadelphia 8-1 on July 4th. He went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits. He had 2 other starts against the Mets this season with no decision. He pitched 7 innings here at Shea on May 31st, and he pitched 6 1/3 at Philadelphia August 19th. Now our national anthem. With the playing of our national anthem, the New York Mets are on the field. Jim Hickman is at first base. Ron Hunt is at second. Ed Brissou is at shortstop, and Ken Boyer is around at third. Ron Swoboda is in left field. Billy Murphy is in center field. Cleon Jones is in right. Jerry Grody is catching, and Tug McGraw is pitching. Tug McGraw this year with the Mets has won 2 and lost 6. Against the Phillies, he has won 1 and lost none. And that is also his lifetime record against the Phils. On August 21st in Philadelphia, McGraw defeated the Phils by a score of 5-1. He hurled a 2-hitter. He walked 1 and struck out 3 in that ball game. Tony Taylor standing just outside the batter's box now, waiting until Tug McGraw finishes his warm-up. And there goes the throw down to second base. At Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the Chicago Cubs have scored 4 runs in the top half of the first inning off Woody Fryman, who has been knocked out in the first and relieved by Don Cardwell. Bill Hands is going for the Cubs. Ernie Banks had a 3-run homer as the Cubs got off to 4 runs in the top half of the first inning. The Giants are at St. Louis. Juan Marichal is warming up for the Giants. Al Jackson for the St. Louis Cardinals. The Dodgers are at Cincinnati. Now, Tug McGraw with the first pitch to Taylor and a 10-foot foul strike. Don Drysdale is warming up for the Dodgers, and Sammy Ellis is warming up for the Cincinnati Reds. We'll keep you posted on scores of other games throughout the course of this one here at Shea Stadium. Tony Taylor is hitting .245. He has 5 home runs and 33 runs batted in. Draw takes the sign, deals the pitch. Curveball low. 1-1 now to Tony Taylor with Cookie Rojas on deck. Rojas, who has again assumed the role of a utility man with the Philadelphia Phillies. He was in center field last night. He's in left this afternoon. During most of the season, he was the regular second baseman. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on and lined into right field for a base hit. Leon Jones is over up with the ball, plays it back, and it's a leadoff single for Tony Taylor. Rojas is hitting .273 with 6 homers and 50 runs batted in. Rojas, number 16. Venus Lowry is on the coaching lines at first base for the Phillies, and George Myatt is the coach around at third. There's a throw to first. McGraw was not on the rubber, so he just wheeled and underhanded the ball over there. Taylor takes a good lead. Now the pitch to Rojas, who squares, butts the ball to the third base side. McGraw has it. He throws to first in time. And the sacrifice goes 1-3 as Hickman took the throw, which was almost high. Hickman had to reach up to pull it down. Tony Taylor moves to second. Gene Knox calling on the sacrifice bunt here in the top half of the first inning. Dick Roach, the batter, hitting .256. He has 2 homers and 47 runs batted in. He was a big man in last night's victory for the Phillies over the Mets. This is the last scheduled meeting between these two teams this year. Now the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. Starting play today in the National League, the Pittsburgh Pirates are on top. The Los Angeles Dodgers are in second place, 2 games out, and 1 percentage point ahead of the third place San Francisco Giants. The Phillies are 7 games back. Here's a strike 1 delivery. Swung on it on the ground foul over toward the corner of the Philly dugout. Richie Allen is out there on deck. Richie was a late arrival here at Shea Stadium today. He's swinging the bat, kneeling on deck right now. McGraw takes the sign. Tony Taylor leads at second. There's 1 man out. Now no throw as McGraw wheeled and bluffed to throw to second with Ron Hutt moving toward the bag. But Taylor was back in plenty of time. And now no pitch is called as McGraw came on through, but Dick Grote had backed out of the batter's box just as McGraw was set to deliver. Top half of the first inning here at Shea Stadium. There's a swing and a ground ball to third. It is a foul ball just off the line, taken deep by Ken Boyer. 2-strike count to Grote, who comes back to the plate. Between the hours of 12 noon and 1 p.m. today, hundreds of fans came down into the lower field boxes to photograph their favorite Met players, as this was designated as Camera Day here at Shea Stadium. Here's a pitch swung on and hit foul down the right field line, out of play. Count holds it 2 strikes. As you know, the weather was somewhat threatening throughout the morning, but hundreds of fans nonetheless showed up early and spent the hour photographing their favorite Met players. Now Tug McGraw checks the runner at second, Tony Taylor, and the pitch to Dick Grote. Swung on and lined in the left for a base hit. Taylor is rounding third. He's being held up, and here comes Svoboda's throw, and it's cut off, and the throw to second, and Grote is hung up between first and second, and now he is being tagged out by Hickman, and Tony Taylor goes back to third. The play goes 7-5-4-3 on Grote. A single to left, and he's out 7-5-4-3. Boyer cut off the throw of Ron Swoboda. Taylor already had been held up by Coach George Myatt at third. There were two men out, a runner at third, and Richie Allen is the batter. He's a fine single into left by Gross. Richie Allen hitting .316 with 36 home runs and 98 runs batted in. He is tied with Henry Aaron of the Atlanta Braves for the home run lead in the National League. As we indicated, Richie Allen was a little tardy in showing up today, and one of the Philly players said, our offense isn't here yet. Here's the pitch in for a called strike. Mets are playing him straight away. He's had 3 home runs in the series, one over the center field fence, one over the left field fence, and one over the right field fence. Swinging a drive into right field. If it stays fair, it is a fair ball going to the corner. Tony Taylor scores, and moving on to second is Allen. He turns second. He's going to third. Throw to third base. He slides, and he's out. At third base, it's wet from 9 to 4 to 5. From Cleon Jones to Ron Hutt to Ken Boyer. It goes as a double, and a run batted in. And then he goes 9-4-5. Phil's got a run on 3 hits. No errors and none left. And the score at the end of a half inning is the Phillies won and the Mets coming to bat. Now here's a word from Rhingo.
I don't know the reason. I can't tell you why. More people like Rhingo, the beer extra dry. But we must be doing something. Yes, we must be doing something right. Yes, we must be doing something. Yes, we must be doing something absolutely right. Positively, whoop, absolutely right.
Now in the bottom half of the first inning, Cleon Jones is coming up to lead off for the Mets. Hitting .280, he has 7 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Facing Chris Short, who has won 16 games and lost 8 for the Phillies. Short won 16, lost 8. Jim Bunning has won 16, lost 9. The 2 top hurlers on the staff. Larry Jackson has won 13, lost 13. Here are the big 3 of the Philly pitching corps. Here's the first pitch to the right-hand batter. Swung on and hit in the air to short right field. Tony Taylor, the second baseman, is backpedaling, and he's backed up by Callison, and Taylor makes the catch. Staggered a little just as the ball came down. One away, and Ron Hutt's the batter, hitting .289 with 3 homers and 31 runs batted in.
Number 33, Ron Hutt.
Last night, the Philadelphia Phillies defeated the Mets 8-4. Yesterday afternoon, the Pittsburgh Pirates beat Chicago 9-1. Yesterday afternoon, the St. Louis Cardinals beat the Giants 3-2. Last night, the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-3. Sandy Koufax got his 22nd win of the season, although he did not go all the way. He was relieved in the 7th inning by Phil Regan. And the Atlanta Braves took both ends of a doubleheader from the Houston Astros, 12-2 and 6-4. Chris Short takes the sign from catcher Bob Uecker, and the pitch to Ron Hutt. In there for a called strike. So the New York Mets, despite a loss to the Phillies last night, picked up a half game on the 8th place Houston Astros, who lost 2. So starting play today, the Mets are a game and a half back of the 8th place Houston Astros. The victory by the Dodgers moved them ahead of the San Francisco Giants in the National League standings. And as you know, tomorrow night, the Giants and the Dodgers start their series. Here is a pitch low and away. tomorrow afternoon, a late afternoon start. As a matter of fact, in Los Angeles, it'll be night as far as New York fans are concerned. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And it's low for a ball. 2-1. Pittsburgh Pirates did not score in the bottom of the first, and the Chicago Cubs have picked up another run in the top half of the second inning. So going to the bottom of the second, it is the Cubs 5 and the Pirates nothing. Bill Hands against Woody Fryman, knocked out in the first, relieved by Don Cardwell. Ernie Banks had a 3-run homer in the first for the Cubs. It's a drive into right center field. It could be an in-betweener to the wall for Ron Hutt. Goes all the way to the wall, and Hutt is going to second base and holding up there with a double as the ball is retrieved quickly by Johnny Briggs, the center fielder. So with one man out, the Mets have a runner at second, and Ken Boyer's coming up. He's hitting .268. He has 12 home runs and 52 runs batted in.
Number 14 would be Ken Boyer.
The Phillies on the field have Harvey Keene playing first base this afternoon. Tony Taylor is at second. Dick Roach at shortstop, and Richie Allen is at third base. Cookie Rojas is in left. Johnny Briggs is in center, and John Callison's in right. Bob Uecker is the catcher. The Phillies are leading by a score of 1-0. Short is up and set now. Checks the runner at second base and deals the pitch to Boyer. Swung on and popped up foul. Back into the seats, out of play. Strike one to Ken Boyer. In the American League yesterday, the Minnesota Twins defeated the Yankees 6-1, and then last night the Yankees defeated Minnesota 7-4. League-leading Baltimore Orioles defeated the White Sox 4-1. The Red Sox beat Kansas City 7-0. Detroit beat Cleveland 8-1, and the California Angels beat Washington 7-6. Starting play today in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles are on top, 9 1/2 games ahead of the second place Detroit Tigers. Here is a strike one pitch to Ken Boyer, but first a pickoff attempt at second. It goes into center field, and coming on to third is Ron Hutt. He's getting a green light, and he's going to try to score. Ball is retrieved by Gross. The throw to the plate, he slides. He is out at the plate. And now he is up and protesting. Ron Hutt protesting the call of John Kibler, as Bob Uecker blocks the plate until he can get the ball from Dick Groat, and Hutt is called out at the plate, and Westrom comes out now. And Westrom is protesting the call briefly, and now goes back to the dugout. As Bob Uecker blocks the plate until he can get the ball from Dick Groat. And so Ron Hutt is out at the plate. As the ball was retrieved out in center field on a pickoff attempt, Hutt tried to score all the way from second and is out at the plate. There are 2 men out, and the count is strike one. Here's a swing and a drive into center field for a base hit. Johnny Briggs is over up with the ball, plays it back, and Ken Boyer turns and holds.
Batting in the fourth position, first baseman, number 6.
Jim Hickman's the batter now. Hickman's hitting .252. He has 4 home runs and 13 runs batted in. The official scorer says give an error now to Chris Short on the pickoff attempt, which allowed Hunt to move to third base, and then the play at home went 6-2 Dick Groat to Bob Uecker. Now the pitch low for a ball. The Phils are leading by a score of 1-0. That was tying run at the plate as Hunt was called out by umpire John Kibler. There's a swing and a miss as Hickman tried to check his swing. Two men out, Boyer at first, Harvey Keene, the first baseman, holding against him there. Ron Swoboda is waiting on deck. We're in the bottom half of the first inning. Chris short, checks the runner. Deals 1-1. Breaking ball low to Hickman. It's 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground to deep short. It's screwed over, and he placed the second just in time for the fourth on Boyer. So the side is out. And the Mets get no runs, 2 hits. There was an error and 1 left. The score at the end of an inning is Phillies 1 and the Mets nothing. Tomorrow, a doubleheader here with the Cincinnati Reds in, and then the Reds will be in on Tuesday night. And next weekend, it'll be the Atlanta Braves in for a weekend series, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Tickets are now available at a wide variety of convenient ticket locations. The advanced ticket window here at Shea Stadium is open 7 days a week, 8 to 6 on weekdays and 9 to 5 on Saturdays and Sundays. In Manhattan, the Met ticket office at Grand Central Station is at the foot of the 42nd Street and Vanderbilt Avenue ramp. Open weekdays 8 to 6, Saturdays 8:30 to 4. In Manhattan, at Macy's, 34th Street and 7th Avenue, the Met ticket office is on the main floor near the 7th Avenue entrance. And there is also a Met ticket office at Macy's in Huntington, Long Island, in the Walt Whitman Shopping Center, and it's open during regular store hours. In addition, reservations for box and reserve seats may be made at all Howard closed stores during regular store hours, and also at any branch of the manufacturer's Hanover Trust Company during banking hours. Tickets may be obtained by mail by writing Ticket Manager, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Box seats are $3.50 each. Reserve seats are $2.50 each. Add 25 cents to each order to cover mailing costs. We're going to the top half of the second inning, and it'll be Harvey Keene up to lead off for the Phillies. He's playing first base today, has a batting average of .267. He has batted in 9 runs. The right-hand batter facing left-hand pitcher Tug McGraw.
22.
First pitch is high for a ball. With Keene at the plate, John Callison has moved out on deck. Against the left-hand pitcher, Callison has moved down to number 6 in the batting order. Pitch is low and away. 2-0. Grudy calls time and goes to the mound. With the San Francisco Giants starting Marichal this afternoon, it means one of two things. Either he is not going to work against the Dodgers in the big series in Los Angeles, or he is going to work on extremely short rest.
You know, strangely enough, Lindsay, he and Koufax have hooked up only 2 times in their career.
Here's a pitch low for a ball. You're right. It's been rather strange that they actually have had very little head-to-head competition. Got to Harvey Keene now. He's 3 balls and no strikes. As Tug McGraw deals a pitch that is in there for a call strike, and Keene was taking all the way. It's 3-1. We're in the top half of the second. The Phils are leading by a score of 1-0. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Swung on, foul out to the right side, out of play. It's full at 3-2. Tug McGraw reads the sign of Jerry Grody. Pitch is swung on and missed. So after going behind 3-0, McGraw comes back to strike out Keene. It is McGraw's first strikeout of the afternoon.
Right fielder, number 6.
John Callison is hitting .284. He has 9 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Bob Uecker moves out to the on-deck circle. Here's a pitch to the left-hand batter, and it's outside for a ball. Tug McGraw, 22 years of age. As a matter of fact, just turned 22. He is 6 feet tall, 170-pounder, from Vallejo, California. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and hit deep to right. That one's way back there. It's going, and it is gone for a home run. Johnny Callison hitting the ball over the 371-foot sign in right field. And the Phillies are out in front by a score of 2-0. So against the left-hand pitcher, Callison has dropped down to the number 6 spot in the order and promptly homered. That brings up Bob Uecker, the catcher, hitting .206, 7 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Of the 36 base hits that Uecker has this season, 7 are home runs. There's one man out, nobody on base, and the pitch is low for a ball. Johnny Briggs is on deck. Here's a pitch, and it's high for a ball. 2-0. Doug McGraw with a 2-0 delivery, and it's a check swing ground ball to the right side. Jim Hickman takes it. He's going to the bag unassisted as Uecker on the check swing, but slow getting away from the plate. 2 men out, and Johnny Briggs is coming up. Hitting .298, he has 9 homers and 19 runs batted in. He's a left-hand batter with good speed. Grass pitch, the curveball in there for a called strike. The Mets and the Phillies at Shea Stadium in New York. And this one gets away and sails completely over the head of catcher Jerry Grody and all the way back to the screen. 1-1 now to Briggs. Briggs, trying to follow the trajectory of that ball, appeared a little bewildered when he saw where it was going. Two away, nobody on. The Phillies 2 and the Mets nothing. Breaking pitch low. Here's a swing and a drive into right field for a base hit. Taken out there by Cleon Jones and played back, and Briggs turns and holds with a single to right. It brings up the pitcher, Chris Short. He's hitting .209. He's had 18 hits this year.
Short. 1-1.
Tomorrow a doubleheader here, and the holiday doubleheader starts at 1 p.m. So we'll be on the air tomorrow at 12:55 p.m. New York time. Short's a right-hand batter, and the pitch is low, bounds away, and Briggs moves on to second, and Grody comes back to retrieve as Briggs turns at second and holds there. Wild pitch. Charged against Doug McGraw. So it moves Briggs into scoring position at second, and the count is ball 1 to Chris Short. Draw goes over to the rosin bag. Now let's send to Jerry Grody. And set, checks the runner at second. The 1-0 pitch swung on and looped out into center field. And right there is Billy Murphy, and he makes the catch. He was playing a shallow center field against the pitcher. Sides out. 1 run on 2 hits, and there is 1 left. Score at the end of an inning and a half is Phillies 2 and the Mets nothing.
Going to be late for dinner tonight, dear?
Yeah, I've got to go over that Anderson deal with Fred.
Bob Watson is a nice guy with a nice family and with a nice business to support them. Bob Watson's also a good driver. Not the kind of a guy or driver that you'd normally expect to have to watch out for. Because normally Bob's mind is on his driving.
I can expect about a 34% discount on all items. That should mean a possible margin of, say, 6%. It's not bad.
But this morning, Bob's mind is on business. And that means, at the next stop sign, you could get the business from Bob. Tens of thousands of good drivers make bad mistakes, fatal mistakes every year. One of those mistakes may involve you. Expect the unexpected, whenever, wherever you drive. At intersections and oncoming traffic, even behind you. Always drive defensively. Always watch out for the other guy. Mary? I think she's up.
We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WGY 810 on your dial, Schenectady, New York.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Cantor and Bob Murphy at Shea Stadium in New York. And Ron Swoboda is up to lead off now for the Mets. Batting number 5 in the batting order. He has an average of 225, 8 home runs, and 46 runs batted in. Left-hander Chris Short on the mound this afternoon for the Phillies. Pitch is swung on and missed for strike one. Yogi Berra on the coaching lines at first base, and Whitey Herzog is the Met coach at third. Strike one delivery. Breaking pitch high, and it's 1-1. Very short with a 1-1 offering, and it is swung on and popped up to the right side. Harvey Keene moves over, so does Tony Taylor. Taylor calls, and the second baseman makes the catch again, stumbling a little as the ball came down at the last moment. One away, Ed Pursue's the batter. Hitting .231, the shortstop has 10 homers and 46 runs batted in. The end of 2.5 innings at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. The Cubs 5 and the Pirates nothing. No score yet in St. Louis or in Cincinnati. Strike one to Ed Pursue's. The American League at the end of 3 innings now. The Detroit Tigers 2 and the Cleveland Indians 1. Ike Gary against Sam McDowell. Stanley home in the second with nobody on for Detroit. Now Roberto Clemente is homered for Pittsburgh in the third with 1 man on. Here are the Pirates 2 runs, and it's the Chicago Cubs 5 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 2. 2-strike count to Ed Pursue's here. Very short with the pitch. Swung on it on the ground to deep short. Backhanded by Gross. Sets and throws, and in time. He got him. 2 away. Dick Grote moved to his right, came up with the ball on the hop, set. The anchor foot and threw on in time. Bill Murphy is the batter. Next center fielder is hitting .223, has 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. We have the warm-ups now in Atlanta. Bob Bruce for the Houston Astros and Don Schwal for the Atlanta Braves. Marichal against Al Jackson in St. Louis. Drysdale against Sam Ellis in Cincinnati. Here's a swing and a miss. Strike one. Met fans here now starting a chant of "Let's go Mets" as the Phils lead by a score of 2-0. This pitch is inside. Warm-ups in Minnesota, Pedro Ramos. Warming up for a start for the Yankees and Jim Cott for the Minnesota Twins. Cott's won 21 games. Pitch to Murphy's low. The end of a half inning, the Baltimore Orioles nothing. The Chicago White Sox coming to bat. Eddie Watt against Gary Peters. Boston at Kansas City, doubleheader latest start. Washington at California on a latest start. Here's a swing and a ground ball foul back at third. Pittsburgh Pirates got a total of 4 runs in the bottom half of the third inning. So at the end of 3, it is the Cubs 5 and the Pirates 4. The Pittsburgh Pirates on top in the National League and battling back. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up to short. Dick Groat moves in a step. He's there and makes the catch. So the Mets are out in order here in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Score at the end of 2 innings is the Phillies 2 and the Mets nothing. You can get information on the Met Fan Club and obtain tickets as well for the Fan Club room and a list of the dates available at any of the regular Met ticket outlets or also by writing to Met Fan Club, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. All Fan Club tickets have been exhausted except for the following dates. September 27th, Cleon Jones. September 30th, Bob Shaw. October 1st, Al Luplo. The Lady Met Club invites you to bring a used toy. That's not a broken toy, but a used toy to the Fan Club meeting when you come. It will be sent to a hospital or an orphanage in the name of the player that you are visiting. So the only dates this season for which there are Fan Club tickets remaining are September 27th, Cleon Jones. September 30th, Bob Shaw. And October 1st, Al Luplo. Through 2 innings, the Phils have 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. The Mets have no runs, 2 hits, no errors. As we go to the top of the third, coming in here for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsay, and hi there, everyone. The first man up for the Philadelphia Phillies will be Tony Taylor, followed by Cookie Rojas and Dick Groat. On the mound for the Mets, Doug McGraw, he has given up 2 runs and 5 hits. In the first, he gave up 3 hits. And in the second, the Phillies got 2. McGraw has struck out 1, walked none. The lights have been turned on here at Shea Stadium. It's a murky day. And the first pitch to Tony Taylor, who singled his first time up, is called a strike. Taylor batting .247 with 5 home runs and 33 runs batted in. And the left-hander into the windup and back again. And this time a curveball is looked at, strike 2. And with the lights coming on, the rain has started to fall again. Umbrellas going up and some of the fans scurrying back under the stands. 2-strike count on Tony Taylor. Little drizzle before the ball game, and it stopped as the game got underway. A swing and a foul tip out of the glove of Jerry Grody. Tony Taylor walks out in front of the plate to pick up the ball. It's being checked out now by John Kibler and now thrown out of play. A new ball in. Count remaining at 0-2. Tony Taylor, one of the few ball players to have been seen playing in Europe while playing in the United States. He was at bat when Telstar's first tried out in the Cup ball game with the Philadelphia Phillies. High fly ball into center field. Billy Murphy moving over toward center field to his left side, making the catch for the out. That'll bring up Cookie Rojas. Say, the Rheingold Chug-A-Mug is a wide-mouthed glass mug that holds 12 ounces of beer. And it even feels right when you pick it up. We're selling them in handy cartons of 6, and they're just about the handiest thirst quenchers in town. Cookie Rojas stepping in. Rojas batting .273. Sacrificed his first time up, and the first pitch bounces away in the dirt. It's ball 1. Rojas with 6 home runs and 50 runs batted in. Six home runs for Cookie, his all-time high for one season. Now he lines one to right center field. It's a base hit coming over to cut it off, and he does as Cleon Jones, and Rojas holds it first. So Cookie has a base hit.
Shortstop.
That is hit number 6 off Doug McGraw, and with 1 man away, the batter will be Dick Groat. Dick singled his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. His average at .258, the highest it's been this year. Last year he batted .254 for the St. Louis Cardinals. And the first pitch is low, and it's ball 1. Groat in last night's ball game, 3 for 4. He has had 4 hits in his last 5 times up to get his average up to .258. Dick, a former National League batting champion. Batted .325 in 1960 when the Pirates won their last pennant. Now the 1-0 delivery at 2-0 for ball 2. Fastball missing. 2 balls, no strikes. The Giants scored 3 runs in the top of the first. And they are now defending against the St. Louis Cardinals. Juan Marichal pitching for the Giants. And Al Jackson starting for the Cardinals. Weathering the storm as the Giants picked up 3 in the first.
We'll be back to the game in just a moment. We would like to make this announcement. We have received a phone call from the Shaker Road Fire Department in Loudonville that their phone is out. So if you have a fire or any trouble that you wish to report to the fire department on Shaker Road in Loudonville, the number to call is State 5 5822. That number again, State 5 5822. Now once again, back to Mets baseball.
Phillies lead 2-0 with 1 man out in the top of the third. Now the left-hander sets and comes back to the plate. And Dick Grote takes the called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Warming up in the bullpen now for the New York Mets, Bob Friend. Straw has given up 2 runs, allowed 6 hits through 2 1/3 innings. Now at 3-1, he looks at first base. Comes to the plate, and the pitch is over. Strike 2. And Dick Grote taking all the way to try and get on base for Richie Allen. So the count has gone to 3-2. Dick does not strike out often as a fine hit-and-run man, so you'd have to figure that the runner, Cookie Rojas, at first base, will be going on the pitch. Phillies hoping to stay out of the double play. Now a lob throw again to first base as Tug does it before getting on the pitching rubber. He takes his signs off the rubber and then steps on to make his delivery to the plate. Here's the pitch. The runner does not go, and the ball is popped up. Second baseman Ron Hunt is under the ball, and he makes the catch right on the baseline between first and second for the out. That'll bring up Richie Allen. Richie Allen in this series, 5 for 10 with 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in, and 2 doubles. Overall, Richie Allen has had 25 hits and 67 times up against the Mets this year with 6 home runs. And the pitch to him is inside. It's ball 1. He came into this ball game with a .364 average against the Mets this year and got a double his first time up to drive in a run. He was thrown out trying to stretch it into a 3-base hit on a fine play from the right fielder, Cleon Jones. There's a long drive to left field. Going back on the warning track is Juan Svoboda, and he makes the catch. That retires the side, and in the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. And the score at the end of 2.5 innings, the Phillies 2, the Mets nothing. Did you ever stop to think of how many lonesome travelers there are here and yonder and how thirsty they get?
Well, I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I've been traveling on. I travel here and then
From California to New York, the American folk singer travels here and yonder, carrying with him the music of the whole world and its peoples. And sometimes when the traveling gets thirsty, he puts down his guitar and accompanies himself with a cold beer, maybe Rheingold. And in New York City, where more songs and travelers stop than anywhere else in the world, more people buy Rheingold Extra Dry than any other beer. How come? Maybe it's the Oregon hops we use. Who knows? But we must be doing something right.
Going to the bottom half of the third, the Mets trailing 2-0, and Jerry Grote leading off for the Mets. On the mound for the Phillies, Chris Short. He has given up no runs, allowed 2 hits. They both came in the first, a double and a single. The single coming after Ron Hunt had tried to score from second base after a ball had been thrown away when they tried to pick him off at second. He was thrown out at the plate on a good play and an extremely close call. Ken Boyer getting the single after that play. Now the first pitch to Jerry Grote. It's high, it's a ball. Jerry with an average of .221, 3 home runs and 30 runs batted in. Right-hand batter. Chris Short, a left-hander, back again. The pitch is swung on. It's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck batter, Tug McGraw. He'll be followed by Cleon Jones. Now at 1-1, the pitch back is outside, and the count goes up to 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, we understand that an old Brooklyn Dodger fan and New York Met fan now, Hilda Chester, is very ill. We'd like to send on our best wishes for a very speedy recovery. Certainly miss her here at the ballpark. She was a part of the scene. She was the scene at Ebbets Field. Now a hard smash right through the legs of Chris Short into center field for a base hit by Jerry Grody. So the Mets have their 3rd hit, their lead batter at first base, and Tug McGraw coming up. The Mets are trailing by 2. Tug has been at bat 14 times with 3 hits. He's batting .214, not a bad hitter. Bat from the right-hand side, which does not hurt him at all against the left-hander Chris Short. At the end of 3, the Cubs 5, the Pittsburgh Pirates 4. Cubs got 4 runs in the first inning. Pittsburgh coming back, led by Roberto Clemente with another home run, a 2-run homer. It was his 24th. Now the first pitch to Tug McGraw. It's bunted on and fouled down in the dirt, strike 1. Rain still falling here at Shea Stadium, a very light drizzle. Weather report for tomorrow's Labor Day doubleheader with the Cincinnati Reds is good. Supposed to clear. And it's going to be a big doubleheader with Jack Fisher and Dick Selma pitching for the Mets against Milt Pappas and Jim O'Toole. Game time will be at 1 o'clock. That is the last doubleheader of the 1966 season here in Shea Stadium. Mets have won in Cincinnati on the 25th. Now bunted out toward the pitcher's mound. McGraw drawing the throw at first base for the sacrifice as Jerry Grody goes into second. Ball fielded by Chris Short and tossed to Harvey Keene at first. Mets also have a doubleheader against Houston on the road. So they have 2 left after they play tomorrow 2. That'll bring up Cleon Jones, who popped to second base his first time up. Phillies leading by a 2-0 score. The St. Louis Cardinals, after falling behind 3-0 in the top of the first when the Giants scored 3, have scored 3 runs off Juan Marichal to tie up the ball game and the score after 1. The Giants 3, the Cardinals 3. Al Jackson pitching for the Cardinals. Cleon Jones batting at .279, and he fouls the first pitch off to the right side at strike 1. Chris Short pitching for the Phillies. And working with Jerry Grody at second base with 1 man out in the bottom half of the 3rd. Juan Marichal picking up his 20th win against the Mets here in the past week's action. The Dodgers have scored a run in the top of the first against Cincinnati and Sammy Ellis. Don Drysdale now starting out against the Reds in the bottom half of the first. Hard smash to third. Richie Allen runs the runner back to second base with a look and throws to first base in time for the out. That'll bring up Ron Hunt, who doubled his first time up. Ron's double his 18th and his average is .290. 2 men away in the bottom half of the 3rd. Jerry Grody, who singled to center field and was sacrificed down to second, is still there as Ron steps in. Ron's still wearing the golf glove on his right hand, and now he's asking for the umpire, John Kibler, to look at the ball. So it's tossed in to Bob Euchre, and a new ball is put in play. Field just a little bit damp. The outfield, with this light drizzle falling, a little bit faster, the ball will be skidding. Oh, we have a correction now over the ticker tape of the Western Union ticker. St. Louis Cardinals did not score 3, it goes back to a 3-0 game, the Giants leading after 1. So, a little extra thrill there tossed in. A little bit of everything comes your way. First pitch is called strike 1 of Ron Hunt. Even the Western Union operator getting in the act. We get the scores from all over the country, supplied through the ticker tape, coming across by the second. Now a high pitch, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Very fine service is provided. Keep you up to date, just right on the nose. Scores are relayed from the ballparks around the country to a central office and sent out again to all the ballparks around the country. Now at the 1-1 pitch, high fly ball to center field. Johnny Briggs in center field gets to it, waits for it, and he makes the catch, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left at second. And the score at the end of 3, the Phillies 2, the Mets nothing.
Here's Bob Pettit, professional basketball star of the St. Louis Hawks, on the subject of physical fitness.
As a professional athlete, I have to stay in shape. No question about it. And that makes me luckier than most, because I've developed a habit of keeping fit. That's going to be important to me when my playing days are over and I go into banking, because there's no question about this either. No matter what line of work you go into, you'll look better, feel better, and work better if you're physically fit.
In space or surgery, nursing or news reporting, the future belongs to the fit, to those vigorous enough to live it and shape it. You parents can help see that the schools do their whole job, preparing your children physically as well as mentally. The President's Council on Physical Fitness will show you how. Write Fitness, Washington, D.C. for information. That's Fitness, Washington, D.C.
Going to the top of the 4th inning, Doug McGraw on the mound for the New York Mets. Doug has had a rough journey so far on this rainy day here at Shea Stadium. He gave up 1 run and 3 hits in the first. And he gave up 1 run and 2 hits in the second, and also another hit in the third. And he's had to weather a lot of challenges by the Philadelphia Phillies, who are trying to stay in the race. The Phillies coming into this ball game in 4th place, 7 games back of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It'll be Harvey Keene to lead off for the Phillies. He'll be followed by Johnny Callison, who has had his 10th home run of the season in this ball game, and then Bob Uecker. Harvey struck out his first time up. McGraw had gone to 3 balls and no strikes on him, and then came back to get him on a 3-2 fastball. Keene batting .264, right-hand batter. Harvey started wearing glasses this year. And the first pitch is high, a fastball missing for ball 1. Harvey hasn't played in too many games, appearing mostly as a pinch hitter. He's been at bat 120 times in 73 ball games. Had no home runs, driven in 9. And he hits a line drive to left center, might go in. Coming over is Ron Swoboda. He dives, makes a try for it. The ball bouncing out of the glove as he bounds into the ground. And Harvey Keene goes into second base with a double. Almost one of the greatest plays you ever wanted to see. Ron Swoboda made a dive for the ball and had the ball in his glove. But his momentum as he hit the ground knocked the ball high in the air. He also tried to reach for it once again as he was skidding along the red grass, but he couldn't reach it, and the ball dropped in. He quickly got up and threw in, but Harvey Keene went into second with a double. So the Phillies with their 7th hit. And now the batter is Johnny Callison, who has homered in his 1 time up. Johnny with 10 home runs this year, batting .285, and once again Bob Friend starts to warm up in the bullpen for the Mets. First pitch to Johnny Callison is taken away, and it's ball 1. Ball thrown back to Doug McGraw, getting away. Rolling on the wet grass, and so another ball has to be put in play. They had changed balls when the ball was thrown back. Darren Johnson, in the bottom half of the first, off Don Drysdale, has homered with a man on, and Cincinnati still batting in the first inning, leading by a score of 2-1 over the Dodgers. Sammy Ellis is pitching. Darren Johnson has had a tremendous month in August and starting out the same way in September. Bill Hands has been knocked out of the box by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Next pitch is grounded down to first base. Jim Hickman throwing to Tug McGraw. McGraw just beating Johnny Callison to the bag at first base for the out. Moving over to third on the play, Harvey Keene.
Number 9.
Len Church taking over for Bill Hands in the fourth inning as the Pirates bat in the bottom half of the fourth. They were trailing 5-4 as they came to bat in the fourth inning. McBean had taken over for the Pirate pitchers. Fryman started, was knocked out in the first. Don Cardwell came in. And now it's Alvin McBean in the ball game. Banks and Clemente home runs in that game. Infield drawn in by manager Wes Westrom as they set up against Bob Uecker, who grounded out to first base his first time up. Bob batting .205 with 7 home runs and 23 runs batted in. One away in the top of the fourth. The Phillies lead 2-0. First pitch is bounced over the head of George Myatt, the third base coach, and going right into the cylinder that holds the tarp. Hole on this end, the ball going right into the open area and rolling into the cylinder. One strike count. Uecker, a right-hand batter, and the pitch back to the plate is a curve that breaks too far inside. A hard curveball by Tug McGraw. 1-1. The Giants out at the top of the second. They still lead by a score of 3-0, and Cincinnati now out in the bottom half of the first. They got their 2 runs on the home run by Darren Johnson. They lead 2-1. Right here, the Phillies lead 2-0. 1-1 delivery is inside and high, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. The end of 1, Minnesota 2, the Yankees 1. At the end of 1.5, Chicago 1, Baltimore 0. Next pitch is way outside. Jerry Grody has to make a good play of the ball to keep it from getting away. And the count now 3 balls and 1 strike. The on-deck batter, Johnny Briggs. At the end of 4, Cleveland 3, Detroit 2. Games underway in the American League. On the schedule, Boston to Kansas City and Washington to California to start later on. Three balls, 1 strike. McGraw into the windup and back again. And the pitch is hit into shallow right field. Leon Jones is waiting for it. It's fairly deep. Runner tagged up at third. Harvey Keene there. The throw coming in is way offline, and Keene scores easily. He would have scored if the throw had been good. And the Philadelphia Phillies take the lead now by a 3-0 score on the sacrifice fly by Bob Uecker. His 24th run batted in this year. And that brings up Johnny Briggs.
Center fielder, John Briggs. Number 12.
Briggs singled to right field his first time up. He's batting .301. Phillies with 3 runs and 7 hits. The Mets have no runs and 3. 2 men out in the top of the fourth. And McGraw with a curveball for a strike. One of the few curves he's been able to throw over. Tug has been missing with his curveball and getting hit with his fastball. As Lindsey Nelson told you earlier, he pitched a fine 2-hitter against the Phillies for his 1 win since coming back. Next pitch, again, a good curve. It's strike 2. Briggs leaning away, thinking the ball might be a fastball. The ball breaking over the plate. Now the next delivery is called a ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the next pitch is hit hard down to second. A 2-hopper for Ron Hunt. It's thrown to first base in time to retire the side. 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. A double by Harvey Keene. There were no errors and no one left on base. And the score at the end of 3.5. The Phillies 3, the Mets nothing.
This is Stuart Queen reporting from Washington. From the rock-line promontories of New England's coastline, westward across the nation to the prairie country of the American Midwest, to the Great Divide in the Rockies, and westward again to the sequoias of California, this is America, where beauty and nature combine to make up the green lawns of our recreational playground. All this belongs to you and to me. It's part of our heritage, this pride in natural beauty. You can walk the trails of the Appalachians, swim and fish the lakes and streams, and relax in the quiet desert splendor of the great Southwest. These are the glories of this nation's natural beauty. The National Wildlife Federation wants you to learn more about beauty and nature. For free information, write the National Wildlife Federation, Department 44, Washington, D.C. That's the National Wildlife Federation, Department 44, Washington, D.C.
Half of the fourth inning with the Mets coming up as they trail 3-0. The Mets came close to scoring, the closest when Ron Hunt was out by an umpire's call, which he protested very vigorously when he tried to score from second base on an overthrow and an error by Chris Short when they tried to pick him out. Ken Boyer was at bat at the time. He then singled in the center field after the call. Ken now leading off for the Mets here in the fourth, and the first pitch by Chris Short is a curveball in for a called strike. Boyer with a single, batting .270 this year with 12 home runs and 52 runs batted in. Ron Hunt had doubled to get on base. Now the next pitch is fouled high and away. It's strike two. Chris Short has given up 2 hits. Make it 3 hits in the ballgame, allowed no runs. He has walked none. And struck out none. Left-hander looking for his 17th win this year. And his next pitch at 2 strikes is called strike 3. So he has his first strikeout, getting Ken Boyer on 3 pitches. Boyer thought the pitch was inside. And with 1 away here in the bottom half of the fourth, the batter will be Jim Hickman. Jim hit into a forced play his first time up, grounding down to short. Hickman batting .250. First pitch is called a ball. Jim playing at first base, the right-hand batter against the left-hand pitcher, and he takes a high pitch for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Jim in 42 ball games has driven in 13 runs and hit 4 home runs. He's been at bat 112 times this year. 2-0 delivery. It's in there, strike 1. Jim out for a long time with a broken wrist. Breaking the wrist on May 13th. Next pitch to Jim is grounded out to third. Backhanded play by Richie Allen. The long throw to first in time for the out. Richie Allen doing a good job at third against the Mets in this series. While we wait for Lawrence Svoboda to come up, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WGY, 810 on your dial, Schenectady, New York.
Shiner, along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Shea Stadium. A 3-0 game in favor of the Phils. And Chris Short with his first pitch to Ron Swoboda. Swung on a miss, strike 1. Ron popped out to second base his first time up. He's batting .224. Chris Short working a little bit faster here in this ball game against the Mets. He comes back and the pitch is popped up into shallow left field. Going back is Richie Allen, the third baseman, to make the call. And he makes the catch and that retires the side. Another 1-2-3 inning, 3 in a row for Chris Short. And the score at the end of 4, the Phillies 3, the Mets nothing. Now, once again, here's Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph, after today's ball game, the Mets have 11 games remaining on 10 dates here at Shea Stadium in the 1966 season. So we hope you'll take advantage of the opportunity to come out and see the Mets at least once or twice more before the end of this season. Tomorrow, the Cincinnati Reds will be in here in the last doubleheader of the year. It'll start at 1 p.m., and then the Reds will be here Tuesday night as well. The Atlanta Braves will be here on Friday night, Saturday night, and that'll be date night, and again on Sunday afternoon. Then the Mets go on the road, going to Los Angeles, to San Francisco, to Houston, and to Cincinnati, before coming back here to play Leo DeRocha's Chicago Cubs on Tuesday night, the 27th, Wednesday afternoon, the 28th. Then the Houston Astros will be here on Friday night, September 30th, Saturday night, October 1st, and the season will close here on Sunday afternoon, October 2nd. Those dates remaining at Shea Stadium, and tickets are now on sale for any or all of those games to be played here during the remainder of this season. Through 4 innings here this afternoon, the Philadelphia Phillies 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. The New York Mets no runs, 3 hits and no errors. Tug McGraw's on the mound for the Mets, and as we go to the top half of the 5th, Chris Short is coming up for the Phillies.
Pitcher, Chris Short.
Short has been up one time, and he flied out to center field. He is a right-hand batter. Tug McGraw's pitch is in for a called strike. Tony Taylor moves out to the on-deck circle. Now pitch is hit on the ground up the middle. It's going to be a tough chance for Berceau. He goes on the run, throws, and in time. Fine play by Berceau. Ball was not hit hard, which meant that Berceau had to come across at full tilt, field the ball, and throw on the run. And in time to get Chris Short. Say, this looks like a good time to light up a Cool for the most refreshing taste in smoking today. Cool Filter King.
Taylor, number 8.
Willie McCovey has homered off Al Jackson in St. Louis, the 28th home of the year for McCovey. It came in the third with nobody on. The Giants are leading the Cardinals now by a score of 4-0. Juan Marichal pitching today for the Giants, trying for his 21st win of the season. Tony Taylor's 1 for 2. The pitch is swung on and fouled on the ground back at third, fielded by George Myatt, the coach at third. So let's check now on the progress of the league leaders today. The Pittsburgh Pirates, through 4 innings, are leading the Chicago Cubs by a score of 7-5. The Giants are leading the Cardinals by a score of 4-0. The Reds are leading the Dodgers by a score of 2-1 at the end of an inning. Here's a ground ball to second base. Taken there by Hunt and played on to Hickman. 2 away for the Phillies. In the top half of the 5th inning, and Cookie Rojas is coming up. He's 1 for 1 and a sacrifice. The end of an inning and a half. The Atlanta Braves 1 and the Houston Astros 0. Eddie Matthews helmeted in the first with nobody on. Bob Bruce against Don Schwab. In the American League, at the end of an inning and a half, the Minnesota Twins 2 and the New York Yankees 1. Pedro Ramos against Jim Cott, trying for his 22nd win of the year. Horace Clark helmeted in the first with nobody on for the Yanks. Pitch is low to Rojas, batting here with 2 men out and nobody on base. The end of 2.5 innings, the Chicago White Sox 1 and the league-leading Baltimore Orioles 0. Eddie Watt against Gary Peters. Baltimore has a 9.5-game lead. Here's a ground ball to short, taken by Berceau and thrown on in time. McGraw gets the Phillies out in order here in the top half of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. The score at the end of 4.5 innings is Phil's 3 and the Mets 0.
This is Catherine Cornell. Years ago, a chance meeting on a train with Helen Keller led to my cherished friendship with her. Through Miss Keller, I became active in the American Foundation for the Blind and am proud to serve on its board of trustees. I'd like to tell you about some of its wonderful services. The Foundation, in cooperation with the Library of Congress, records the talking books, available with a phonograph, free on loan to any legally blind person. The Foundation manufactures and adapts more than 300 aids and appliances for blind people, from clocks and watches with raised markings to tools, kitchen utensils, canes, and crossword puzzles. It also issues identification cards so blind persons may travel on most railroads and bus lines with a sighted companion, both for one fare. For more information, write to the American Foundation for the Blind, Box 111, New York 11, New York.
In the bottom half of the 5th inning, Ed Berceau will lead off for the Mets.
Shortstop,
He's been up one time, grounded out short to first.
number 1.
Facing Chris Short, who came into today's game with a record of 16 wins and 8 losses. Curveball, and it's low. Chris Short works more quickly than he did earlier in the season. He had fallen into a pattern of taking a long time between pitches and working on the mound and all around. His teammates chided him for it by showing up with little shovels and things like that and calling him groundskeeper. And pitching coach Cal McLeish worked with him and working a little faster. Here's a swing and a drive into left field, and it's a base hit. Coming over to try to cut it off. Left field to Cookie Rojas, going to second is Basu, and he slides in and grabs the bag for a double. He slid to the outside and then grabbed the bag with his hand. So it is a double for Basu. Carl Simon gets up to brush himself off. Rounded first, and the helmet flew off, so Yogi Berra slipped that out to him. It's a leadoff double here in the bottom half of the fifth, and Bill Murphy's coming up, a right-hand batter. For the Mets, that's their 4th hit off Chris Short. Phillies are leading by a score of 3-0. Murphy's been up one time and popped out to Short. The crowd's coming alive here now with the Mets batting in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Chris Short looks in to get a sign from catcher Bob Uecker. Short is up and set with Ed Pursuit taking a lead at second base, and the pitch to the right-hand batter is swung on hit in the air to left field. Rojas goes back. It's over his head. It is off the wall in play. Pursuit moves on to third now, and Murphy standing at second with a double, as Pursuit had to hold up because Cookie Rojas looked as though he were lining up the ball, and then at the last moment turned and went back to play it off the wall. So Pursuit had the hold, then came on to third, and Murphy has a double off the wall as at second. And that's have runners at second and third. Jerry Grody is coming up, tying run at the plate. So the Mets have had back-to-back doubles without scoring a run, as Pursuit had the hold, thinking that Rojas might catch the ball. Ian Mock calls Sam and is going to the mound now, looking down toward the bullpen as he does. The Phillies have a 3-0 lead. However, we're in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and Mock folds his arms now to talk to Short, Uecker, Tony Taylor, Dick Grote. Jerry Grody is going back over toward the on-deck circle now because he wants a loaded bat to knock a little dirt out of his spikes, a little mud out of his spikes. Meanwhile, Hawk Taylor is coming in from the bullpen. Grody's still getting the dirt out of his spikes there on deck. Hawk Taylor is in the dugout. The pitcher's scheduled up next. Bob Friend is working in the bullpen for the Mets. Bob Buell is up and working in the bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies. Gene Mock turns and goes back to the dugout now. First base is open. Runners at second and third. Chris Short looking in to get a sign from Bob Uecker as the Mets make a bid here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Chris Short still peering for the sign. Has it now. Works straight away. There's a swing and a miss. Strike one. Jerry Grody has been up one time and had a single right back through the box out into center field. Phillies keep the infield back with a 3-run lead. They're willing to give up a run for the putout. And the strike one pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-1. Jerry Grody keeps a little space between his fists on the handle of that bat, somewhat in the manner of Ty Cobb. Calculated to give the batter a little better bat control. Runners lead at second and third. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and foul back off the screen and out of play. Los Angeles Dodgers have picked up a run in the top half of the second inning, so going to the bottom of the second it is the Dodgers 2 and the Cincinnati Reds 2. Don Drysdale against Sammy Ellis. Darren Johnson had a 2-run homer for the Reds in the bottom half of the first inning. Right here, the Phillies lead the Mets by a score of 3-0, but the Mets have runners at second and third with nobody out. Chris Short takes the sign. This will be a 1-2 pitch, and it's on the way. In there for a call, strike 3. Dips it right in and caught Grody looking. He turns and marches back to the dugout. Now McGraw leaves the on-deck circle and goes back to the dugout as Hawk Taylor is going to be sent up. That was the second strikeout for Chris Short. Hawk Taylor will bat for Tug McGraw as manager Wes Westrom is taking the gamble here to try to get a long ball from Hawk Taylor and get back in this ball game. He's hitting 182. He has 3 homers, one of them a pinch grand slammer, and 10 runs batted in.
Your attention, ladies and gentlemen, for New York, batting for McGraw, number 19, Hawk Taylor, number 19.
Bob Friend working in the bullpen with Tug McGraw out of the game now. McGraw worked 5 innings in which he gave up 3 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 1 and he walked none. Ed Bersu is the Med runner at third and Bill Murphy the runner at second. Right-hand batter Hawk Taylor is in and waiting. Chris Short takes the side. The pitch, high for a ball. Mets have 5 hits off Chris Short. There's 1 man out. The 1-0 delivery. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Leon Jones waiting on deck. Taylor swinging the bat as he waits. Now the 1-1 delivery. Swung on and foul back out of play. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Pittsburgh Pirates have scored another run in the bottom half of the 5th inning at the end of 5. It is the Pirates 8 and the Chicago Cubs 5. Right here, the Phils lead the Mets 3-0. This will be a 1-2 pitch to Hawk Taylor. Chris Short works straight away. Pitch is swung out and missed. He strikes out Taylor. His 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. 2 away, and now Leon Jones is coming up. He's been up twice, popped out and grounded out.
Right fielder, Leon Jones.
Leon Jones coming around, still not in the batter's box as Chris Short comes down to smooth out the dirt a little on the mound where he's been striding. Phillies defensively set up playing Cleon to go to the opposite field. He asked that umpire John Kibler examine the ball, so Short fires it in. Kibler takes a look, and he's going to put another ball in play. Chris Short now takes the sign from catcher Bob Euchre. The pitch is in there for a called strike 1. Bersu at third and Bill Murphy at second with 2 men out. Leon again settles himself into the batter's box, measures his stance. Chris Short working straight away with a strike 1 pitch. It's way outside for a ball, 1-1. Ron Hunt kneeling in the on-deck circle. Short takes a moment now to get a little mud out of his spike. And here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and line foul to the right side into the seats and out of play. So the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cleon Jones. Pitch short, rubs up the new ball. Tomorrow's doubleheader will start at 1 p.m. We'll be on the air at 12:55 tomorrow. The Cincinnati Reds and the New York Mets. Dick Selma and Jack Fisher pitching for the Mets. Jim O'Toole and Milt Pappas for the Cincinnati Reds. Tuesday night it'll be Dennis Rybank going against Jim Maloney. Leon Jones calls time, steps back out of the batter's box. Now comes back in. Runners lead at second and third. This is a 1-2 pitch. Swung on and it in the air to right field. Moving back to Callison. He's in the warning track near the wall and he makes the catch at the 371-foot sign. So the side is out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. The score at the end of 5 full innings is the Phillies 3, the Mets nothing, and this is now an official ball game. We'd like to remind you that there are good box seats remaining for the 11 home games still on the Mets schedule here at Shea Stadium for the season. And there are a variety of other ticket plans to suit individual tastes. Still plenty of time for you to bring out a group for an afternoon or evening. So to find out about these plans and to order tickets, contact Ticket Manager, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York, or phone 672-3000. That number again is 672-3000. They'll discuss the ticket plan that's best for you or your group, and they'll explain how you go about ordering. Bob Friend is now coming in to do the pitching for the New York Mets. He is making his 19th appearance of this season. He has a record of 5 wins and 5 losses. Last time out, in relief against the Dodgers, he went 7 2/3 and got the win. He allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. It was a fine relief performance by Bob Friend. Doug McGraw pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 1 and he walked not.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for New York, now pitching, number 20, Bob Friend, number 20.
The end of 5 full innings. The Pittsburgh Pirates are leading the Chicago Cubs by a score of 8-5. At the end of 2.5, the Giants are leading the Cardinals 4-0. The end of 2 full innings, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Reds 2. Dick Groats coming up here in the top half of the 6th inning. He is 1 for 2. Scheduled up in the inning, Dick Groats, Richie Allen, and Harvey Keene. Right-hander Bob Friend with the pitch. Land is short and taken by Brazil. A one-hand stab, and there's one away on 1 pitch. Richie Allen doubled a drive and a run his first time up. He slid out to the left in the 3rd.
Number 15.
Pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right side, out of play. The run driven in the first inning by Richie Allen is his 99th of this season. He was out about a month with an injury. Swinging a ground ball to 3rd, taken deep by Boyer. Fields it cleanly, throws on, and in time. Boyer retreated, but managed to handle that one. It was a hard hit ball. 2 away. Harvey Keene's coming up. He has struck out and doubled so far. He scored a run in the top half of the 4th inning. The Phillies are leading by a score of 3-0. Friend pitch to the right-hand batter. It's in for a called strike. Harvey Keene, one-time batting champion of the American League when he was with the Detroit Tigers. Pitch is low for a ball. Keene, at one time, was the all-star shortstop for the American League. He and Al Kaline formed a 1-2 punch in the Detroit lineup. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled off on the play. 1-2. Two men out, nobody on base. And this is a 1-2 delivery. Swung on, and he's in the air to right. Cleon Jones is there, and he makes the catch. Bob Friend retires to start in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Towards the end of 5.5 innings is the Phillies 3, the Mets nothing. Sometimes things roll easy, and sometimes they don't roll at all. Either way, here's a song with a message for you.
Roll on a bus, no it won't get me.
And in New York City, more people roll on easy with Rheingold Extra Dry than with any other beer. Maybe they like our natural carbonation. But whatever it is, we must be doing something right.
Roll on, buddy. Roll on easy. Now how can I roll when the wheel don't go?
In the bottom half of the 6th inning, Ron Hunt will lead off for the Mets. Hunt has doubled and flied to center field.
Second baseman, Ron.
Phillies are leading 3-0.
Number 33.
St. Louis, the Cardinals did not score off Marichal in the bottom of the 3rd, so going to the 4th inning, it is the Giants 4 and the Cardinals nothing. Juan Marichal against Al Jackson. Marichal's won 20 and lost 5. Jackson's won 12 and lost 12. Chris Short with the pitch to Hunt. Swung on and lined into left for a base hit. Cookie Rojas over up with it, plays it back, and Hunt turns and holds with the leadoff single. Base hit number 6 for the Mets off Chris Short. Brings up Ken Boyer, who's 1 for 2. Singled and was called out on strike. Harvey Keene, the first baseman, coming over to hold against runner Ron Hunt. Bill White being given the day off by the Philadelphia Phillies. At least was not in the starting lineup against the left-hander. He is here in uniform and is available. Here is the pitch in for a called strike. Short working off the stretch, takes the sign from Euchre. Check swing, foul ball to the right side, and out of play. So the count now to Ken Boyer goes to 2 strikes. Jim Hickman kneeling there in the on-deck circle. Chris Short has struck out 3 and walked none so far in the game, and allowing no runs on 6 hits. This will be a 2-strike delivery with Hunt leading at first base and nobody out. Here's a swing and a miss. Short has his 4th strikeout. 1 away, and Jim Hickman is coming up. Hickman is nothing for 2. He has a season's batting average of .248. Chris Short taking a moment before getting ready to work to Jim Hickman. Ron Swoboda has moved out on deck now for the Mets. Ron Hunt takes his lead at first, and here's the pitch. Breaking ball high. Ball 1. Phillies are set up defensively, playing Jim Hickman to pull. Their outfield alignment is Cookie Rojas in left today, Johnny Briggs in center, and John Callison in right. This will be a 1-0 offering. And it's in for a called strike, 1-1. Through 5 innings of play, the Pittsburgh Pirates 8 and the Chicago Cubs 5. However, in the 6th inning, Pete Mickelson has relieved Billy Odell. Here's a pitch that is in for a called strike. It's 1-2. Started for the Chicago Cubs, was relieved by Lynn Church in the 4th inning. Roberto Clemente had a homer in the 3rd with 1 on, his 24th of the season, and Ernie Banks had a 3-run homer to get the Cubs off in front, but the Pittsburgh Pirates battled back to take the lead. This is a 1-2 pitch. Foul back off the screen and out of play. The Chicago Cubs did not score in the 6th inning. But perhaps went to a pinch hitter because Bob Henley has now come in to do the pitching as the Pirates come up in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 1-2 the count to Hickman here with a runner at first and 1 man out, and the Phillies are leading the Mets by a score of 3-0. Chris Short started. He's been in all the way, coming in with a record of 16 wins and 8 losses. He's up and set. Hutt leads at first, and here is the 1-2 pitch. High for a ball. It has again begun to rain a little bit here. We've had intermittent light showers throughout the afternoon. The Mets fans, for the most part, are a hardy breed, however, and the umbrellas start to spring up all over the lower field box section. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's inside, so it goes full now at 3-2 to Jim Hickman. Ron Hutt, the runner at first. There is 1 man out. Swoboda is on deck, and the Phils lead 3-0. Now Chris Short looks in to take the sign. Payoff pitch for the runner holding, and it's hit on the ground foul back at third. Here's the paid attendance for this afternoon, 17,770. So the Mets are just a little short of last year's total for the season. They needed 18,561 to equal last year's total for the season, which was 1,768,389. So it's just a little short on a rainy day. 17,770 paid. The total is 18,449. Payoff pitch hit on the ground to short. Could be for 2. Taken by Grote over to Taylor. That's 1. Throw to first, and it's a double play. Yogi Berra protesting to Tchaikovsky that Keene was off the bag, but Tchaikovsky says no. It's a 6-4-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left. The score at the end of 6 full innings is the Phils 3 and the Mets nothing. Bob Murphy will be along in just a moment for the play-by-play, and right now, here's Bob.
Just Jazz. However you enjoy your kicks and jazz, we feel certain that you'll get your fill on the weekly program Just Jazz, heard over WGY. The program is heard usually on Tuesdays from 8 to 11 in the evening. But during the Mets baseball season, the show is heard on other nights of the week. In any case, Just Jazz is heard 1 night each week. Suggestion: send your name and address to Just Jazz Schedule, care of WGY in Schenectady, New York. And by return mail, you'll have the listings of each of the Just Jazz programs throughout the summer. This is Randy English. Be advised, it's cool It swings, it's for you, and it's just jazz here at 810 on your radio dial. Over WGY in Schenectady.
Johnny Callison will be up against Bob Friend as we go to the 7th inning. In the 4th inning at St. Louis, Tito Fuentes, the Giants shortstop, has hit a 2-run homer. And the Giants now are leading the Cardinals 6-0 after 3.5 innings. Fastball is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Johnny Callison homered his 10th of the year in the 2nd inning and grounded out in the 4th inning. Now it's outside, ball 2, 2-0. The Los Angeles Dodgers got 3 runs in the 3rd inning at Cincinnati, breaking the deadlock, and the Dodgers now lead the Reds 5-2 after 2.5. High fly ball wafted right down the left field line, now veering over into the field box area and out of play. Left-hand hitter Johnny Callison leads the National League in 2 base hits. Last year he hit 32 home runs, so his home run production has been drastically off this year. Ball 3, it's 3-1. Now the pitch on the way, and the breaking ball is low, ball 4, and Johnny Callison goes to first on a walk. Right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WGY 810 on your dial, Schenectady, New York.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner from Shea Stadium. 7th inning, Phillies lead 3-0. The batter, Bob Uecker, the catcher. Now Friend up in pitching position. He's around to bunt. Bunts, fair ball, quickly picked up by Boyer. Kinney's play is to first base, Hunt covering. And so the Phillies try to add 1 more run. Uecker gives up his turn at bat, trying to help build it, and Johnny Callison goes to second.
Center fielder, John Briggs, number 12.
Johnny Briggs coming up. The Philadelphia center fielder has singled to right and grounded out second to first, 1 for 2. Briggs hitting an even 300, and with first base open and the pitcher due up next, the Mets will put him on. Briggs getting the intentional walk. That will bring up Chris Short. Pittsburgh leading Chicago 8-5 after 5.5 innings. The Giants well in front of St. Louis 6-0 after 3.5. And the Dodgers leading Cincinnati 5-2 after 2.5 innings. So the top 3 teams in the National League are all winning at the moment. The Braves lead the Astros 1-0 after 3.5 on a home run by Eddie Matthews. Now the hitter is Chris Short. Chris has flied to center and been thrown out on a fine fielding play by Ed Pursue. Again, the Mets have the defense against the possibility of the bunt. The on-deck batter now is Tony Taylor. Down comes the pitch by Friend. A full swing and a ground ball taken by Hunt. He throws to second. Out at second on a close play. Hickman had gone for the ball. Ron took a look, and he wasn't sure whether Hickman would get back in time, plus the fact that he had a chance to keep Johnny Briggs out of scoring position, so he's forced. Now runners on first and third, 2 down, and Taylor coming up. The Rheingold Chug-A-Mug holds 12 ounces of Rheingold Extra Dried and has a full tab, so you don't need an opener. You know, it's about the handiest way there is of quenching your thirst. You'll find Chug-A-Mug 6-packs at your local store or tavern. Tony Taylor hitting with runners on first and third, 2 down. The pitch by a friend, a fastball for a strike. Phillies 3 runs, 7 hits and 1 error. New York no runs, 6 hits, no errors. Tony Taylor hitting at 246 has 1 for 3. Slider outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnny Callison on third. Chris Short is on first. And the Mets have the defense straight away against right-hand hitter Tony Taylor. Just under the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. In the American League race, Chicago is leading Baltimore 3-0 in the 4th, while Detroit and Cleveland are tied 3-3 in the 7th. 2-1 delivery. Ground ball hit slowly to shortstop. Boyer tries to cut it off. Brissou up with it, throws to second. Force play on short, and the side is out. In the 7th, no runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left on. 7th inning stretch time for the Mets fans at the end of 6 1/2. The Phillies 3 and the New York Mets nothing. Now here's the word from Rango.
I'm back. I don't know the reason. I can't tell you why. People like Rango's beer extra dry. But we must be doing something. Yes, we must be doing something right. Yes, we must be doing something. Woo! We must be doing something right. Pour me another mug of that Rango exercise here. Woo! Yes, we must be doing something. Woo! We must be doing something right. Rango.
Last half of the 7th inning, Ron Swoboda leading off against southpaw Chris Short. But it's foul as Ron tries to catch him flat-footed. Ed Brissou on deck and then Billy Murphy. The Mets have had a couple of genuine threats against Chris Short, but so far have not come up with a timely hit. Now the pitch on the way. Inside at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike. Their best threat came in the 5th inning when Ed Brissou and Billy Murphy led off with extra base hits. Putting runners on second and third, nobody out, but Short bailed himself out. He struck out Grody and pinch-hitter Hawk Taylor and got Jones on a deep fly to right. Ground ball to Short, fielded by Dick Gross. He whips it to Harvey Keene, 1 man down in the 7th inning. One away, nobody on. Now Eddie Brissou coming up for the 3rd trip. He doubled his last time at bat. Ed has 1 for 2. Eddie hitting .232. 10 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Change up, a swing and a miss. Doubleheader tomorrow, starting at 1. Night game with Cincinnati Tuesday night. Mets get 2 days off Wednesday and Thursday, and the Braves are here Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Billy Murphy will be hitting next. Billy times a couple of swings in the on-deck circle. Outside and a high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Don Drysdale left that game in Cincinnati as the result of his knee popping out, not serious. But he had to leave the game, and Ron Peronowski took over. Shortly after, right before the Dodgers had scored their 3 in the top of the 3rd inning. Now it's in for a strike, 1-2. So the Dodgers are leading Cincinnati 5-2 at the end of 3. Peronowski is pitching in relief of Drysdale. Notabart is working in relief of Sammy Ellis. Line drive in the air to left field, coming in fast as Rojas. He has to play it on the hop. It's a base hit for Ed Brusseau, his second of the game. Billy Murphy hit one off the left field wall for a 2-base hit his last time up. Billy has 1 for 2. In Pittsburgh, the Cubs jumped off to a big 5-0 lead early. But the Cub pitching unable to hold that heavy hitting of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh now in front 8-5. Now the pitch underway. A foul ball back over the screen. No play. Well, considering the weather, a wonderful crowd here at Shea. You can't stop the Mets fans. 17,770 paid. They are now just 791 admissions, shy of their total attendance figure for all of last year. Now Chris Short picks up his sign. A 1-strike count on Billy Murphy. Fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tomorrow, the Dodgers and Giants will open a big series in Los Angeles, their last meeting of the year, the final 3 games. The Dodgers lead the Giants in the season series 8-7. The 1-1 pitch to Billy Murphy is inside, ball 2, 2-1. Juan Marichal pitching today. That means he'll, in all probability, miss the Dodgers series in Los Angeles. The Dodgers have never beaten Marichal at Candlestick Park. They have beaten him in Los Angeles. 3-1 on Billy Murphy. Now Jack Hamilton is warming up in the New York bullpen. The number 8 hitter scheduled up next, Jerry Grody. Short has not walked a batter. At the moment, has gone behind 3-1 on Billy Murphy. Ed Brusseau on first base, 1 out. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball for a strike, 3-2. Philadelphia with the infield and the outfield straight away now against Billy Murphy. Harvey Keene holding against Ed Brusseau at first. And the pitch on the way. Foul ball going out of play off to the right over into the field box area. So it's 3-2 again on Billy Murphy. New York trailing 3-0, last of the 7th inning. And the pitch, a swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Short, who had not walked a batter when he fell behind 3-1, came back to strike out Billy Murphy. For Chris Short, his 5th strikeout. Now there are 2 away, and the batter is Jerry Grody. Jerry has singled to center and taken a call third strike, 1 for 2. Jerry hitting .238. Change up, a foul ball lifted back over the upright screen. No play, and it's strike 1. Well, Well, there'll be quite a crowd in Dodger Stadium tomorrow afternoon when the Dodgers and Giants open their important 3-game series. Pittsburgh has opened up a 2-game lead. The Pirates, however, face a rough going. They will play 14 of their last 17 games on the road. In the last 10 days, they will have 7 meetings with the Giants. Now, Chris Short, working with 2 men down, 1 man on, has a 2-strike count on Jerry Grody. And it's inside. Check the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Umbrellas opened up all around the stadium. Rain has never been heavy at any time. It's been very light. The 1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss on a slow curve. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's 1-2 as Jerry Grody cocks the bat. The pitch by Short, a check swing foul ball back up into the crowd. Ball starts bouncing around. At Pittsburgh, they are now in the last of the 6th inning. The Pirates leading Chicago 8-5. Last of the 5th inning in St. Louis. The Giants lead the Cardinals 6-0. The last of the 4th inning in Cincinnati. In the bottom half of the 4th, just completed. The Reds did not score. They go to the 5th inning, the Dodgers leading Cincinnati 5-2. A smash into right, a base hit by Jerry Grody. Ed Versu goes to second and stops there as Callison plays the ball in. Now, Bob Friend is scheduled up, but Larry Elliott is coming out of the dugout to bat for him. Wes Westrom sending up Elliott, a left-hand batter, against Short, a left-hander, but Wes is out of left-hand hitting. The only right-hand hitting he has, Bud Harrelson, who is a switch hitter, but a light hitter. Elliott has, on a number of occasions, hit left-handers since coming to the Mets, and so Larry Elliott will bat against Chris Short.
Number 17, Larry Elliott.
When the opposing team starts the left-hander and West uses his right-handed batting lineup, it leaves the bench just about void of right-hand pinch hitting. Now Short up in pitching position, delivers to Elliott. Under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. The Atlanta Braves lead the Houston Astros 1-0 after 4.5, a pitching duel between Bob Bruce and Don Swall. Now 2 runners take a lead, 2 men down. And the pitch to Elliott is outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes. Veteran right-hander Bob Friend pitching 2 innings in relief, and once again, Bob pitched superbly. In 2 innings, he allowed no runs, no hits, walked 2. One of the 2 was intentional. Struck out none. Friend turned in an outstanding relief job against the Dodgers to pick up his 5th win. For Philadelphia, Darrell Knowles and Bob Buell are working in the bullpen. A high foul fly over toward the field box area. No play for Harvey Keene. Ball lands in the crowd. 2-1. St. Louis scored a run off Juan Marichal in the 5th inning at St. Louis. The Giants lead 6-1 at the end of 5. Marichal trying to win his 21st game. Now the 2-1 pitch. A foul ball back into the screen. It's 2-2 on Larry Elliott. Sandy Koufax got credit for his 22nd win last night. Gaylord Perry has 120. They are the 320-game winners in the National League at the moment. 120-game winner in the American League, Jim Cott, is 121 and is going for 22 today. Two outs and 2 on. Last of the 7th inning, Larry Elliott facing Chris Short. And the pitch low outside, ball 3. So it's 3-2 on Larry Elliott. This time the runners will be going. Eddie Brasseau is on second, Jerry Grote on first. The Mets have now out-hit the Phillies in this game 8-7. But the Phillies have had the timely hit, and they lead 3-0. The runners go, and the pitch, ball 4 to load the bases. And Short did not like the call, nor did Bob Uecker. They're both fussing a little bit with John Kibler. So Cleon Jones will come up with the bases loaded. That is the first walk surrendered by Chris Short. Leon came up in the 5th inning with runners on second and third, 2 men down. He made a strong bid. He hit a fly ball that put Callison right up against the wall in deep right field, but it was caught. And the Mets fans are really turning it loose now. Let's go Mets. Bases loaded, 2 men away. Short into his windup. Now the pitch. It's in the dirt, bounds away. The runners will hold. Did not go far enough to let anybody score or move up. 1 ball and no strikes on Cleon Jones. Chris Short taking a moment to dig some of the mud out of his spikes for firmer footing. Ed Brasseau is on third, Jerry Grote on second, Larry Elliott on first, and 2 men down. The base is loaded on 2 singles and a walk. Short working very deliberately. Now into his windup. The pitch, ground ball to shortstop. Dick Grote has it. He throws to Taylor covering. 4th play on the side is out. 3 men left on. In the 7th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left. The Mets have now had 7 left on in the first 7 innings. At the end of 7, Philadelphia, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. The New York Mets, no runs, 8 hits, and no errors. In the American League this afternoon, with Jim Cott going for his 22nd win of the year, the Minnesota Twins lead the New York Yankees 3-1 after 4.5 innings. Pedro Ramos on the mound for the Yankees. The Chicago White Sox lead the Baltimore Orioles 4-2 at the end of 5. Gary Peters pitching for Chicago. Eddie Watt was the Orioles starter. Gene Brabender in the 5th, and Mo Drabowski in the 5th inning. Detroit and Cleveland are tied 3-3 after 7 and a half. Sam McDowell pitching for Cleveland. Orlando Pena is in relief of Hank Aguirre for Detroit. Home runs in the game by the Bengals' Mickey Stanley and the Indians' Max Alvis in the 4th with a man on. Doubleheader in Kansas City, the first game just underway. Red Sox 2 and the A's nothing at the end of 1. Darrell Brandom pitching against Blue Moon Odom. The warm-ups at California, Jim Hannon for Washington and Dean Chance, 10 and 15 on the year for California. The National League, Pittsburgh leading Chicago 8-5. That game is now in the last of the 7th. The Giants lead the Cardinals 6-1, and they're going to the 6th inning. And the Dodgers lead Cincinnati 5-2 at the end of 4 innings. The Atlanta Braves lead the Astros 1-0 at the end of 5. Now pitching for the New York Mets, Jack Hamilton. For Jack, his 51st game this year. Hamilton, in relief, has been credited with 12 saves. Tony Gonzalez, a left-hand hitter, with the Mets now pitching a right-hander, Jack Hamilton, will bat for Cookie Rojas. Rojas, a right-hand hitter, so Gonzalez, a left-hand batter, is up to hit for him.
Batting for Rojas, number 25. Tony Gonzalez, number 25.
Rojas had 1 for 2 in a sacrifice while he was in the game. So we go to the 8th inning. The Phillies still out in front 3-0. Now the windup and the pitch by Hamilton. His fastball is down the middle, strike 1. For New York, Tug McGraw worked the first 5 innings. Tug gave up 3 runs, allowed 7 hits, walked none, and struck out 1. Bob Friend then worked 2 hitless innings of relief. Drive hit hard toward the gap in left center. It's a base hit. Rolling back to the wall, being pursued by Ron Swoboda. Gonzalez goes into second with a double. So a leadoff double in the 8th by Gonzalez, and before Grote steps in, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WGY 810 on your dial in Schenectady, New York.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner were in the 8th inning at Shea, and Grote lines a base hit down the right field line. It's rolling into the corner. Rounding third and scoring is Gonzalez, and Grote around second is on his way to third. The relay by Ron Hutt, the slide, and he's safe. A run-scoring triple by Dick Grote. So Hamilton has faced 2 hitters. Gonzalez doubles to left center, and Grote triples to right. Both hitting the ball to the opposite field. This has been a real good series for old pro Dick Grote. He had 3 for 4 and drove 3 runs in last night. Richie Allen has a double and 3 times up and has knocked in a run, his 99th RBI of the year. Ralph Carey and Bill Hepler working in the bullpen for New York. And the breaking ball is in the dirt, ball 1. Bills now are in front 4-0. That mound is getting pretty wet by now from the light rains. Pitchers have to repeatedly dig the mud out of their spikes for better footing. In comes the pitch by Hamilton. A swing and a miss by Richie Allen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Richie has 5 for 12 in this series and 5 runs batted in. Outside and high, 2-1. The Giants scoreless in the sixth inning. After 5.5, the Giants lead the Cardinals 6-1 behind Marichal. The Dodgers added another run in the fifth inning. They now lead Cincinnati 6-2 at the end of 4.5. Baranowski in relief of Drysdale. Curve just missed. It's 3-1. And they go to the eighth inning in Pittsburgh with the Pirates leading Chicago 8-5. One pitch. Misses inside, ball 4, and Richie Allen goes to first base. And Bill White is coming up to bat for Harvey Keene.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for Philadelphia, batting for Keene, number 10, Bill White. Number 10.
Wes Westrom is on his way to the mound. Bill Hepler, a left-hander, is warming up along with right-hander Ralph Terry. Gene Mott putting Bill White up to bat for Harvey Keene, left-hander against right-hander, and now Wes is on his way out. In will come Bill Hepler, and Bill will be facing Bill White. So Hamilton leaves the game, nobody out. Jack has given up 1 run at the moment and is responsible for the 2 men on base. He gave up 2 hits, and he walked 1. Billy Hepler coming in the 8th. Billy Hepler, rookie southpaw from Covington, Virginia, has won 3 and lost 3. This will be his 33rd appearance. Billy's last outing was in the opener of this series when Jim Bunning shut out the New York Mets. Bill worked 1 inning of that game. Allowed no runs, gave up 1 hit. For Billy Hepler, one of his 3 victories this year was over Philadelphia. He won in relief over the Phillies, a game the Mets won 6-5 on August 21st. Bills have 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. The New York Mets, no runs, 8 hits, and no errors. This is the last game of the year between the Mets and the Phillies. If the Phillies win it, they'll take the season series 11 games to 7. It was up for grabs when the Phils arrived in town. They were leading the season series 8 games to 7. And we're going to get a new first base cushion before play resumes.
For New York, now coming in the pitch, number 28.
Light rain coming down. It's raining harder right now than it has at any time all day. It's coming down pretty good right now. When we resume play, the Phillies have runners on first and third, nobody out. Phil's in front by a score of 4-0. Bill Hepler throwing in his warm-up. Tomorrow, with the Giants and Dodgers opening a series in Los Angeles, they are playing a single game late tomorrow afternoon. The Pirates remain at home, and they have a Labor Day doubleheader against the Atlanta Braves. The Pirates will play a 4-game series in Pittsburgh against the heavy-hitting Braves. That could be a tough series. They will play 2 tomorrow in Pittsburgh and then play Tuesday night and Wednesday night. Meanwhile, the Giants and Dodgers are playing 3 single games in Los Angeles, a day game tomorrow, and night games on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. The Pirates will be home all week. After the Atlanta series, they have a series at home against St. Louis. The Giants and Dodgers will be home.
Billy Hepler ready on the pitch to Bill White. Curve outside. Ball 1. While the Pirates are playing Atlanta and the Giants and Dodgers are playing each other, the Phillies will be in Chicago. They might pick up some ground. Foul ball off, no play. Things finish up the way they are going right now. The Phillies will not gain on anybody today because all three of the contenders are out in front. The Pirates are winning, the Giants are winning, the Dodgers are winning, but they're not over yet. The 1-1 pitch. Up high to Bill White, 2-1. Two balls and a strike on Bill White. Bill hitting .283, has 20 home runs and 93 runs batted in. With the Mets starting Tug McGraw today, Gene Mauch decided to give Bill a day off. But now Bill is in action late in the game. The 2-1 pitch. A ground ball hit hard to Hunt. Ron throws to second, 1, now to first, double play, throw home, and he is safe at the plate. Grote gave it a late start. He decided after the play was underway to come home, and he just made it. Let's get the double play, 4-6-3. Ron Hunt looked Dick Grote back, then threw to Ed Pursuit. The ball was hit so hard he could do it and still get 2, and then Grote decided to come on. And he just did beat the throw by Jim Hickman. No RBI on the play. Phillies now lead 5-0. Johnny Callison is up. Johnny has hit his 10th home run. It came in the second, nobody on. Grounded out in the 4th and reached on a walk in the 7th. This is the first time the Phils have scored more than 1 run in any inning. And they now lead 5-0. Curve misses outside. Philadelphia scored singletons in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th. They now have 2 in the 8th. Bill Hepler winding. Pitch to Callison, a ground ball down to Hickman right through his legs and into the outfield. Callison around first is headed for second. He'll make second base standing up. It's an error on Jim Hickman. So Bob Euchre comes up. Euchre has grounded out, scored a run with a sacrifice fly, moved a runner over with a sacrifice bunt. So Euchre has had just one official time at bat. He is 0 for 1. Well, the bat handle's a little bit slippery, and so Bob Euchre asked for time for a moment to get the rosin bag. They go to the 9th inning in Pittsburgh with the Pirates leading the Chicago Cubs 8-5. Chicago had a 5-0 lead at the end of 2 innings. But the Pirates quickly wiped it out, scoring 4 in the 3rd inning and 3 more in the 4th inning. They picked up 1 run in the 5th inning. A high fly to left center. Billy Murphy galloping over into the alley is under it, and he has it. The side is out. The Phils scored 2 runs in the 8th inning. There were 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. At the end of 7.5, it's the Phillies 5 and the New York Mets nothing.
Hey, Mets fans, how would you like a great big 8x10 photo of the Mets? That's right, a team picture of the whole bunch of them. You could hang it over your radio, or next to your moose head, or in one of your bedroom closets. What's its cost? Nothing. The mind boggles at the very thought of it. For a free 8x10 black and white team photo of the glorious Mets, write Mets Photo, WGY, Schenectady. That's Mets Photo, WGY, Schenectady. Why do most people go to Mike's for submarines? Because Mike's submarines have quality, class. Over 51 million submarines that have been sold attest to that. So how about you joining the ranks? Mike's submarines are the big submarines, thickly layered cheese, cold cuts, onion, lettuce, and special dressing nestled in a delicious Italian roll. That's why most people go to Mike's, but I know one woman who's really different. She goes to Mike's because it's the only place she's been that's cleaner than her own kitchen. Get those submarines where you know you can count on quality and cleanliness. Stop at the Mike Submarines nearest you.
Last of the 8th inning for Philadelphia, Tony Gonzalez is now playing left, and Bill White is now playing first. Ron Hunt will be leading off against Chris Short. Ron has a single and double, 2 hits and 3 times up. Mets have had their scoring opportunities in today's game, but have not been able to deliver the big hit. In the last of the 5th inning at Cincinnati, with the Dodgers leading Cincinnati 6-2. The Reds may have something going. Karanowski has gone out. Bob Miller has come in. At St. Louis, the Cardinals in the 6th inning scored another run off Juan Marichal. At the end of 6, the Giants lead St. Louis 6-2. The Pirate game is now in the 9th. Outside and high, ball 1. Now Short, the tall left-hander from Delaware, delivers the fly ball to right field. Walking in is Callison, and he has it easily, 1 man down. Ken Boyer singled to center in the first, since then has been struck out twice. Ken 1 for 3. On the mound for the Phillies, 28-year-old Chris Short. Bidding for his 17th win of the year, and he's trying now for his 4th shutout of the season. Last year, Chris was an 18-game winner, and year before last, a 17-game winner. So for Short, this is his 3rd good year in a row. Change up in for a strike. He has thrown Boyer and Hickman a lot of change-ups. Now Short out of his windup. The pitch to Ken Boyer, a line drive into left center for a base hit. Moving over is Tony Gonzalez. Boyer swings around first, and he's on with his 2nd hit of the game. The Mets have had at least 1 base hit in every inning of the ball game, with the exception of the 2nd and the 4th. That was their 9th base hit, and it brings up Jim Hickman. The Reds scored 1 run as the Dodgers made a pitching change in the last of the 5th inning. At the end of 5, it's the Dodgers 6 and the Cincinnati Reds 3. The Giants are out in the 7th inning without scoring. After 6.5, the Giants 6 and the Cardinals 2. The Pirates are leading 8-5, going to the 9th inning in Pittsburgh. Change up, hammered foul in behind Whitey Herzog. You look out from a broadcast booth today, there is so much humidity. That air looks like you could cut it like you were slicing cheesecake. Minnesota Twins got 5 in the 5th inning. They now lead the Yankees 8-1 at the end of 5. Another changeup. It's low inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chris Short feeding a diet of slow breaking stuff. The right-hand hitters Ken Boyer and Jim Hickman. One out and 1 on, last half of the 8th inning. Another slow one, inside, ball 2. It's 2-1. Tigers and the Indians are in the 10th inning, tied 3-3. Cleveland now hitting with a chance to win it in the home 10th. Fastball outside, 3-1. Baltimore has been chipping away at the White Sox lead. It's now Chicago 4, Baltimore 3 as they go to the 7th inning. Ron Swoboda is the on-deck batter. Short with a count of 3-1. Delivers low outside, ball 4, and the Mets have 2 men on. That's the second walk given up by Chris Short.
Left fielder,
Now Ron comes up for his fourth time at bat. He has gone 0 for 3. 2 infield pop flies that he grounded out short to first. Now they send a sign to the Philadelphia bullpen, and we'll get warm-up action going once again. Short with a little more working room after the Phils scored 2 runs in the top of the 8th. They lead 5-0. Darrell Knowles, the left-hander, and veteran right-hander Bob Buell are up again. Here's the pitch on the way. A fastball for a strike on the outside corner. This ball game has long since been an official game after it reached the end of 5. Had the game been rained out today, about the only place the game could have been made up would have been on Thursday afternoon. Sandy Alford already planned a fishing trip that day. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside and low, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandy, somebody will call you in the morning and say, what kind of bait do you use? Where Sandy goes to get him, they jump right in the boat. Now the 1-1 delivery. Change up, hits foul, going back toward the dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is that time of the year when the stripers start to run. Ed Brosseau kneeling in the on-deck circle. Runners on first and second, 1 out, bottom half of the 8th inning. 1-2 on Ron Swoboda. Here's the pitch on the way. A swing and a miss, he struck him out. For Chris Short, his 6th strikeout of the game. Looks like the screwball that got Ron. Eddie Brosseau has a single and double and 3 times up, 2 for 3. Eddie batting .234. It's all over in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates are assured of remaining at least 2 games out in front. They defeated Chicago 8-5, and they had to put their bats to work to win it. They were trailing 5-0 at the end of 2 innings. Foul ball out of play. Harry Walker used 6 pitchers at Forbes Field today as the Pirates beat Chicago 8-5. Woody Fryman went out in the first. Cardwell came in. McBean in the 4th. Odell in the 5th. Mickelson in the 6th. And Pace in the 9th inning. When McBean came on in the 4th, the Pirates were 1 behind. When Odell came on in the 5th, Pittsburgh had gone in front. Inside and low. That Pirate bullpen has really done heavy duty all year. McBean was the winner. He came on in the 4th, and Odell came on in the 5th. So it was a short stint for Al McBean, but his timing was good. The loser was Len Church. The 1-1 delivery. Foul ball out of play, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes on Eddie Brosseau. Well, the Orioles keep chipping away at that White Sox lead, and they've caught them. They got a run in the 7th inning, so now it's tied up 4-4. Pitching 1-2. Change up, hammered foul. Baltimore and Pittsburgh have ball clubs a great deal alike. They have a lot of thunder. They can be 5 or 6 runs behind early in the game, and they can catch up in a hurry. Baltimore with those cannons to send up. The Robinsons, Frank Robinson, and Brooks Robinson, Bug Powell, and Kurt Blefary. The 1-2 delivery. A changeup is swung on and missed, strike 3. And once again, Short went in a jam. relies on his guile and craftsmanship and works his way out of the jam. That's his 7th strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. Mets have had 9 left on over the first 8 innings. At the end of 8, the Phillies 5 and the New York Mets nothing. Well, next Saturday night here at Shea, the Mets have a night ball game against the Atlanta Braves. It has been designated as date night. That's a real fun night here at Shea with Dixieland bands patrolling around the big stadium, providing a lot of musical fun between innings. So, get all lined up with your best gal for next Saturday night and spend the evening here at Shea rooting for the Mets. On date night, your date gets in for the service charge of 50 cents. Braves are here for 3 games next weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, date night, and Sunday afternoon. The Sunday game, a week from today, winds up the 2-week homestand, and the Mets then start out on their last road swing. The last road trip of the year, the Mets will visit Los Angeles, San Francisco, Houston, and Cincinnati. Come home to close out the season against the Cubs and the Houston Astros. The season ends on Sunday, October 2nd. Which means the World Series would open on Wednesday the 5th. Barring a playoff. Ninth inning, Johnny Briggs up against Billy Hepler. Bill into his windup. The pitch to the left-hand hitter is low outside, ball 1. Briggs has singled to right, grounded out, and reached on an intentional walk, 1 for 2. Johnny Briggs hitting an even 300. Next pitch by Hepler, a swing and a miss. Breaking ball down around the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike. If the Phillies can stay hot, they might gain some ground this week. Outside the high, it's 2-1. They need a good hot streak. But this week, the Pirates are playing Atlanta and St. Louis. The Giants and Dodgers playing each other starting tomorrow in Los Angeles. A swing and a miss by Briggs, 2-2. Whereas the Phillies will be in Chicago playing the Cubs. Pitching 2-2. Let up on, it's outside. A full count on Johnny Briggs. Here's the payoff delivery. Grounded ball, pulled back toward the Mets dugout on an inside delivery. So the count stays at 3-2. Chris Short will be up next. Short leads the Philadelphia mound staff in the all-important matter of complete games. He has completed 16 and will be shooting for number 17 in the 9th inning. Pitching 3-2. A towering pop fly into shallow right. Backpedaling is Ron Hunt. He draws a beat on it and makes the catch, 1 down. 1 away in the 9th inning, and right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WGY 810 on your dial in Schenectady, New York.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kinder from Shea Stadium. 9th inning with the Phillies in front 5-0. And the pitch to Short is outside, ball 1. Pitch by Billy Hepler. He just got a piece of it, a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dick Grote had 3 for 4 last night and knocked 3 runs in, and Dick is the only player in the Philly lineup with more than 1 hit today. A line drive fair right down the right field line. It practically landed right on the line. Short around first is going for 2. Throw by Cleon coming in, not in time, a double to right. Phillies have had the extra base hit barrage going today. Short now, 1 hit and 4 times up.
Second baseman, Tony Taylor, number 8.
Philadelphia has had 4 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. So 6 of their 10 hits have been extra base hits. Tony Taylor has a single to right in 4 times up. That's the first base hit given up by Billy Hepler. Fastball for a strike. Tomorrow, Cincinnati will pitch Milt Pappas, 9-10 on the year, and Jim O'Toole, 5-6. Against the Mets, Jack Fisher, 9-12, and Dick Selma, 3-6. The Twin Bill tomorrow on Labor Day starts at 1 o'clock. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tony Taylor. The 1-1 pitch, inside and high, it's 2-1. The Mets were shut out of the opener of this series by Jim Bunning, as Jim won his 16th of the year. The Giants are out in the 8th inning. Cardinals now bat in the last of the 8th inning. It's the Giants 6 and the Cardinals 2. And it's up high, 3-1 on Tony Taylor. Usually when Billy gets wild, it's wild high. Anytime he keeps the ball down, he gets about very well. The Dodgers lead Cincinnati 6-3. That game is in the last of the 6th inning. And at Pittsburgh, the Pirates storm from behind, beating Chicago 8-5. They used 6 pitchers. The winner was Al McBean. Pitching 3-1. Outside, ball 4. Tony Taylor reaches on a walk.
Left fielder.
First walk surrendered by Billy Hepler, and now it brings up Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez batted for Rojas in the 8th inning and doubled to deep left center. One man out, 2 men on, top of the 9th inning. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. Now the pitch on the way. Low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. That field is really saturated now. This has been one of those light but consistent rains that really soaks up. For every gardener in the area, they'll be delighted. And Jerry needs another catcher's mitt. A day like today is tough on a pair of spikes. Now 1-1 on Tony Gonzalez. Curve on the outside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tony Gonzalez batting .287. Down comes the pitch to him. He lets it go and it breaks outside, 2-2. Chris Short is on second. Tony Taylor on first and 1 man out. Pitching 2-2. Just got a piece of it, a foul ball. The count remains the same. Bill Hepler is the fourth pitcher the Mets have used in today's game. Doug McGraw worked 5, Bob Friend worked 2, Hamilton started out in the 8th, and then Bill Hepler came in. 2-2 delivery. A little bit high on a fastball. That runs the string out. It's 3-2 on Tony Gonzalez. He hits the left field a great deal. They play him astride that way. Ground ball hit toward the hole at shortstop. Rasul up with it, throws to second, not in time. A throw to third, he's out. Short, caught off at third. The play was safe at second. Hunt came across the bag too soon. Tony Taylor was safe at second, and Ron Hunt alertly whipped the ball to Boyer. Short rounding the bag, trying to scramble back, was tagged out.
Throw. Number 24.
Now Dick Grote is up. Dick has a single and a triple. He scored just a fielder's choice, 6-4-5, no hit on the play. And the fastball is over to Dick Grote. Not an easy play to score because there was no assurance that Ed Brassu could have thrown out Tony Gonzalez, and his throw to second base was not in time to get Tony Taylor. Now Hepler checks the runners. Grote bounces one toward the middle. Hunt racing for it is up with it. Steps on second. Force play on the side is out. So the Phillies are out without scoring in the 9th inning. No runs, 1 hit. A double by Chris Short. No errors, 2 left on. So at the end of 8.5 innings, the score, the Phillies 5 and the New York Mets nothing.
This is WGY News. This is the sound that means news. Up to the minute, concise, and complete. From the facilities of NBC, Associated Press, United Press International, the United States Weather Bureau, a staff of stringers throughout a 26-county area, and a newsroom staff of experienced news people, WGY keeps you informed of the latest happenings. More than 20 times a day in regularly scheduled newscasts from 6 in the morning to midnight, WGY brings you the latest news from around the world, around the area, and across the street. And when something newsworthy happens, you get it in bulletin form when it happens. All this, plus specialized programs on farm news, sports, weather, and business, make WGY's news department your best information center for what's going on in the world today.
Now the last of the 9th inning, Billy Murphy will be leading off against Chris Short. They go to the 7th inning at Cincinnati with the Dodgers leading Cincinnati by a score of 6-3. They're in the last of the 8th inning in St. Louis. The Giants lead the St. Louis Cardinals behind Marichal 6-2. Pittsburgh down Chicago 8-5. The Atlanta Braves lead the Houston Astros 2-0, and they're in the last of the 8th in Atlanta. Billy Murphy is the leadoff batter in the last of the 9th. A ground ball hit toward the hole, off the glove of Richie Allen. No play, and Murphy is on. That's a base hit for Billy Murphy, his second of the game. Mets have now had 10 hits. They've had as many hits as the Phillies, but the Phillies have used the long hit to a fine advantage. 6 of the 10 by Philadelphia have been extra base hits. Jerry Grote is up against Chris Short. Phil's in front, 5-0, bottom half of the ninth inning. Now the pitch by Short. Outside, ball one. Now the 1-0 delivery on the inside corner for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brody with 2 for 3 this afternoon. Jerry hiking his average to 240. The dirt part of the infield so saturated now from the rain, and particularly the mound. Short keeps working and working, trying to keep his spikes clear. Here's the pitch on the way. A grounder foul beyond the reach of Whitey Herzog on down the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The crowd today was 17,770, a rather remarkable crowd on a day like this. The Mets need to attract only 791 more people to equal their total attendance for last year. Pitching 1 and 2. And it's inside and low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bud Harrelson has come out on deck. A ground ball to second base. Taylor flips the ball to Grote. They've got 1. Now to White, double play. 4-6-3 for the Twin Killing. Now Bud Harrelson will bat for Billy Hepler.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for New York, batting for Hepler, number 3, Bud Harrelson, number 3.
Bud Harrelson will be hitting right-handed against southpaw Chris Short. Right-handed is the natural way for Bud. Batting left-handed this year at Jacksonville and hitting left-handed for the first time in his life, he wound up hitting .210. The Mets are confident that he's going to improve greatly. A high pop fly. It should be a ball game. Dick Grote is under it on the skin part of the diamond, makes the grab, and the game is over. So the Phillies get their second shutout in this series. Bunning shut out New York Friday night, and Chris Short has just posted his 4th shutout of the year in winning his 17th ball game. In the ninth inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on. So Chris Short goes all the way, and that's his 17th complete game, by the way. And that's a lot. He leads the Philadelphia staff in that all-important department. He allowed no runs, and he literally scattered 10 hits. Short walked 2 men and struck out 7. And meanwhile, he was given solid support at bat by the Philadelphia Phils. The Phillies scored single runs in the first, second, and fourth innings and added 2 more in the 8th inning for their 5 in the ball game. Their first run was driven in by Richie Allen, his 99th RBI of the year. Richie had quite a series. He had 5 hits and 5 RBIs, 3 home runs and 2 doubles. He doubled home the first run of the game, scoring Tony Taylor, who had singled. In the second inning, Johnny Callison homered off Tug McGraw, his 10th home run of the year. That made it 2-0. In the fourth inning, Bob Euchre drove home Harvey Keene with a sacrifice fly. Harvey had doubled to left center. And then in the 8th inning, the Phillies picked up 2 more runs, Grote driving 1 in with a triple down the right field line. The other scored while a double play was being made. So the Phillies have taken the season series from the New York Mets, 11 games to 7. The Phils fly on to Chicago for a Labor Day doubleheader against the Cubs. The New York Mets have a doubleheader here tomorrow against Cincinnati. Milt Pappas and Jim O'Toole pitching for the Reds. And for the New York Mets, Jack Fisher and Dick Zellman. Philadelphia cannot gain ground today, but if they can sustain a hot streak, they might do some business this week, as the Dodgers and Giants are meeting head-on, And the Pirates are at home against the heavy-hitting and always dangerous Atlanta Braves. Pittsburgh came from behind, beating Chicago today 8-5. The Giants are beating St. Louis 6-2 going to the ninth. And the Dodgers are leading Cincinnati 6-3 going to the seventh inning. The line score today, the Phillies 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and 7 left. The Mets no runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and 9 left.
And that's Mets baseball for today, brought to you by Rheingold, New York City's largest selling beer. And what a remarkable thing that is. In New York, a city of so many different people with different tastes, one beer has become the favorite, Rheingold Extra Dry. They don't know why so many people like their beer, but they must be doing something right. Today's game was also brought to you by WGY, your sports station for the great Northeast. WGY will bring you the full schedule of the Mets regular season games live from Major League parks throughout the country. Be with us tomorrow at 12:55 when we'll present another exciting New York Mets baseball game over 810 on your radio dial.